leg of Cave Missions is the mobilization platforms that we have on social media, online, the Mission Diet podcast, and the Indigenous Bible School of Missions. The Indigenous Bible School of Missions is the mobile school, the mobile training school of Cave Missions. We run that program for indigenous workers, for Christians in rural churches that are closest to unreached, unengaged tribes that are still remaining for the church to harvest and bring it into the kingdom. And so we do this based on the needs and survey and the requests from different churches in a particular location. So these are some of the things. Some of you have been receiving the Mission Diet podcast. Some of you have been listening to it. We want to appreciate you for listening and for sharing it with your loved ones. We appreciate you. So mobilization is the second leg of Cave Missions activities and operations. The third leg of our operations is the Green Wealth Empowerment Project. The Green Wealth Empowerment Project is the training, the business, the empowerment, and the investment leg of Cave Missions. One of our major and primary goal is to plant a viable church, a church that will be able to run on its own, a church that will be able to handle themselves, and a church that will be able to survive without external help. And so for members and converts to be able to sustain themselves and sustain the momentum of evangelism and missions for church growth in a place where we have succeeded in planting a church, we also have this Green Wealth Empowerment Project to be able to train and empower rural people, especially our workers in many of these places, so that they can be able to do certain things that will fetch them income to sustain themselves on the mission field. And one of the major aspects of this green wealth is the Royal Maid, mainly to train missionary wives and women from rural areas so that they can start their own small businesses. And so we have also intention to have our own printing press so that we can begin to publish gospel materials both for missions and for churches that we need to have such materials. So we also have plans in the near future to have our mission resource center here in Niger State, here at Mina. And so we are trusting God for resources. We also have the Skytex. Skytex is a business that aims at training and providing software and hardwares for missionaries on the field, for converts to be able to effectively communicate the gospel and do discipleship work, or to enhance their lifestyle on the mission field and not necessarily convert to run after popular ministries to leave the rural area and to come to urban centers. So these are some of the things that we have been doing some, but this other aspect, there are things that we'll be focusing on in the next few years. So this is the third leg of Cave Missions, and we need Christians to also partner with us in this aspect of empowerment so that we can be able to plant indigenous churches that will be able to sustain themselves, and then that we bring transformation to their communities through the light of the gospel. So the fourth leg of Cave Missions operations and program is the leg of community development. Community development is actually where we begin to sample the interest of the people and then to begin to find out their felt needs in order for us to bring transformational projects like clean water, free medical services. We have done boreholes in some mission fields. We have done well. Last year, we were able to do 2 wells in the Ghana field. This year, put one well among the Cooper and Gbagi field in Bodi. So we've been able to do some of these things. We have built schools, we have built maternity, we have started school in our Dukawa field before now, before the bandits took over the area. The same thing with the maternity in the Bauchi field before the bandits took over the place, and then before the water from the Shiroro Dam, because there's a new construction going on and water has taken over part of the Bauchi field, and then the bandits making everything worse. Many people have left those areas now. And so community development is the fourth leg of cave missions, where we marry the Great Commission with the Great Commandment. And with this, God has been able to help us, and is still helping us to enter several communities with community projects, because the community development projects are attractive to the rural people, and they cannot resist community development programs and projects. But hand in hand, the Great Commission, the Great Commandment, we marry everything together, and at the end, a church emerge as such communities. So these are some of the things that God has been doing.
Beginning and the end. Jesus, I love